I'm Three. You're watching TimesXP and welcome to the top US news today. Imagine a young software engineer from Hyderabad or Chennai who has worked really hard for years to study, build skills, and finally land a dream job in Silicon Valley. It's like a dream come true. But now, because of the new political changes, specifically from the United States President Donald Trump, that dream may be in danger, and a new dream may begin in Canada. Many experts believe that Trump's tough stance on immigration could force thousands of South Asian techies to leave the US and move to Canada, possibly turning Canadian cities into the next big technology hub. Donald Trump, who's back in the office, is focusing heavily on immigration. He has already spoken out against birthright citizenship, calling the United States a stupid country for giving automatic citizenship to children born to undocumented immigrants or those on temporary visas. And now he has signed an executive order also to cancel this policy. He has also made it very clear that he wants to reduce the number of H-1B visas, the main visas used by Indian tech workers to work in the US. Trump argues that many immigrants are abusing the system and taking away American jobs. Now, this kind of language has created fear and uncertainty among legal Indian workers, specifically those who have built their lives in America over the years. Now, this fear is not just emotional, it's backed by data. Over 70% of all H-1B visas are issued to Indians, and a large number of them come from South Indian states like Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. Many workers and companies are now seeing the applications of H-1B workers delayed or even denied. A study by the National Foundation for American Policy showed that even restriction led to first decline in Indian tech immigration to the US over a decade. Tech giants like Google, Meta, and Microsoft have all raised concern that the US may lose its global edge if it continues down this particular path. While the US becomes less welcoming, Canada is opening its doors wider than ever before. In 2023, the Canadian government launched a tech talent strategy to attract skilled workers from all around the globe, specifically those already working in the US. Canada even introduced a new open work permit just for H-1B visa holders in the US, and within just 2 days, over 10,000 Indian tech workers have applied. Now that shows how eager Indian professionals are to leave the US if things get worse. In 2023 alone, over 135,000 Indians became permanent residents of Canada, and 40% of international STEM students in Canada are Indians. Cities like Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary, and Waterloo are becoming the new Bangalore, with booming startups, big tech works, and smart and young, intelligent people. South Asian techies are specifically central to this shift. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh produce thousands of software engineers every single year, specifically from cities like Hyderabad. Tamil Nadu is specifically the hub of tech workers. Karnataka, with Bengaluru as its capital, is full of experienced tech workers. Even Kerala is seeing a rise in professional working in AI, cloud computing, and cyber security. Now, for these techies, Canada offers something the US is slowly taking away: peace of mind, clear policy, and a strong path to permanent residency. United States President Donald Trump has once again made a bold statement that is shaking up the immigration debate in America. He calls the United States a stupid country for giving automatic citizenship to babies born to immigrants who are in the US illegally or on temporary visas. This kind of citizenship is called birthright citizenship, and it means that any baby born on the US soil becomes a citizen, no matter what the legal status of the parents is. Trump is now asking the US Supreme Court to put an end to this particular rule. Well, the major case about this issue is being heard in the US Supreme Court. Trump posted his opinion online and said that birthright citizenship was never meant for people who came to the US just to have babies and get citizenship. He claimed that some people come on a short visit, give birth, and then settle in the country with their entire families. According to him, this makes the US look like a fool, and he even accused drug cartels of taking advantage of the system. He went on to say that America is the only country that allows this, and he doesn't understand why. He believes the rule was originally created for the children of slaves after the Civil War, not for illegal immigrants trying to trick the system. Trump had earlier signed an executive order, which you remember, that said that babies born to people living in the US without any legal status or just on temporary visas should not get US citizenship at birth. But judges in Maryland, Massachusetts, and Washington state blocked this order, saying that it goes against the 14th Amendment of the US Constitution, which protects the right of anybody born in the country. Now, the Supreme Court is looking at whether judges should have the power to block presidential orders for the entire country or just for the people involved in the specific case. Trump is also very angry at what he calls radical left judges, who, in his opinion, are trying to act like presidents without getting elected. His legal team says that the entire court ruling created confusion and encouraged what they called judge shopping, where people choose certain courts just to get favorable outcomes. On the other hand, groups that support immigration say that national court orders are necessary to protect everybody equally and stop injustice across the country. Now, this case could affect thousands of Indian families too who are living in the US. Many Indians in America are on student visas, H-1B work permits, or are waiting for permanent residency. Badr Khan Suri, an Indian academic visiting Georgetown University in the United States, recently shared a shocking story. He was arrested suddenly by the US officials and locked up for nearly 2 months, even though there was no criminal charges against him. Suri was taken into custody on March 17, 2025, just outside his home in Virginia. Officers in plain clothes picked him up without explaining much about the reason why they are picking him up. He was then sent all the way to Texas and later on to Louisiana because there wasn't enough space in Virginia's detention center. During that period of time, he says that he was chained at the ankle, wrist, and waist. Let me quote what he said. "I felt like I wasn't even human anymore." Now, the reason. Why was he arrested? Well, the US government claimed that he had connection to someone linked to terrorism and said that he was promoting pro-Hamas ideas. But Suri and his lawyers strongly deny all these allegations. They say that he was targeted because of his political views and because his wife is of Palestinian background. His father-in-law once worked in Hamas-led Gaza government, but Suri himself has no criminal record. Suri had come to the US to teach at Georgetown. His subjects: human rights and majoritarianism in South Asia, a topic very relevant to India. He has a PhD in conflict studies and was helping build academic knowledge around majority rights. During his time in the detention, Suri says that the conditions were poor. He said that the faculties were dirty and no one to listen to when he tried to raise any concern. What hurt him the most was being away from his family. He said that my 9-year-old son knew I was gone. He was crying all the time. Finally, a US federal judge, Patricia, ordered his immediate release. She said that detaining anybody like this just for political views or association was a violation of the First Amendment of the US Constitution, which protects free speech. This was a huge win for Suri and for the many people and organizations like ACLU. Now, Suri is out of detention and back with his family in Virginia. But let me tell you, his fight is not over. He still faces deportation proceeding in Texas. Now, this case has sparked a bigger conversation about how immigrants are being treated in the US, specifically under US President Donald Trump's administration. Experts are really worried that basic rights like free speech could be taken away from the migrants, making it easier to detain and deport people without fair trials. Now, from an India's point of view, this case is a serious concern. When an Indian citizen who came to the US for education and teaching is treated like a criminal without any trial, it raises question about how fair and safe the system really is. There is some great news for Indian tech industry. The United States has just scrapped a very controversial Biden-era rule that could have blocked powerful AI chips. like those made by Nvidia, from being exported to countries like India. Well, this decision is a big relief for Indian cloud AI and data center companies which rely heavily on these high performance chips to run large scale AI models, cloud services, and big data applications. Originally, the US had planned to enforce strict exports control starting from a particular date. These new rules were designed to stop AI chips from reaching certain countries considered national security risks, specifically China. But the rule was written so broadly that it would have also affected friendly nations like India. Now, that caused a lot of concern because it meant that Indian companies would face delays, higher costs, and limited access to critical technology, hurting innovation and growth in the fastest growing tech market in the world. Thankfully, the Trump administration has now reversed the course. By cancelling the rule, Indian companies can continue importing these powerful chips without disruption. Well, this decision also saves American chip makers like Nvidia from losing billions in revenue. In fact, it was estimated that companies like Nvidia could have lost $5.5 billion if the export had ban from being implemented. This move reflects the deepening trust and partnership between India and the US, specifically in the field of technology. With AI becoming the engine of the next industrial revolution, India is poised to play a key role, and this decision ensures that its tech sector stays on the fastest track. At the very same time, it reminds us that India needs to invest more in building its own semiconductor ecosystem so that in near future we are less dependent on the other countries for such critical technology. So in short, this is a win-win situation for both the countries. Getting a United States student visa is like a dream for many young Indians. It's like a symbol of success, a big step towards a global education, and often the gateway to a better future. But for one student from Delhi, India, that particular dream turned into a nightmare, all because of one answer in his visa interview. This student had big plans. He had been accepted in a Master's in Finance program at the City University of New York, Baruch College, which is very well-known university in the United States. He had all the right documents, including I-20 form, a good academic background, and very strong financial support. His finances were backed by a loan of $58,500 and personal saving of $58,500, which is no small amount, by the way. On paper, he looked like a perfect candidate. But when he walked into the US Embassy in New Delhi for his F1 visa interview, things got really wrong. After the interview, he was rejected without clear explanation. Feeling really confused, the student shared his experience on Reddit, hoping that somebody would help him understand what exactly went wrong. So, what actually happened? During the interview, the visa officer asked a very simple question: how do you choose this university? After which the student replied honestly. He said that he was searching for US colleges that accept 3-year undergraduate degrees, and that's how he found this particular college. He also mentioned that he had read good things about the university on LinkedIn, but that answer may have costed him the visa. Many people on Reddit explained that his reason for choosing the university didn't sound really strong and passionate enough. It looked like he had already decided to go to the US and then picked any university that would accept him. Now that can be a red flag for visa officers. They want to hear that students are very serious about their education, not just using the degree as a way to settle in the US. One user said it very clearly. You should say something like, I want to build a career in finance, and this particular university has the right courses, right professors, and sources that will help me again to gain the skills that he wants to. After that, he should say that I will come back to India and apply this knowledge over here. Another user explained that the visa officer wants to see commitment, that the student picked the university because of the academic goals and not because the US accepts 3-year degrees. Another possible mistake, how he explained his finances. Some Reddit user also pointed out that the way he explained his finances may have given the wrong impression. The student talked about his loan and saving, but didn't mention any support from his family. Officers might assume that he plans to work in the US to repay the loan. which is kind of not allowed under F1 visa rule? The better way to answer would have been, my parents are supporting me with their savings, and I have taken a loan just to strengthen my financial backup. I have no plan to work during my studies except within the allotted time. What Indian students can learn from this? This story teaches an important lesson. Even if all your documents are perfect, the visa interview is the final hurdle, and the answers you give matters a lot. It's not about what you say, but how you say it. As Indian students, you must remember that you need to be very careful about choosing the university and talking about it. Talk about your course, talk about your content, faculty, and how it connects to your career in India. Just show your intent to return back to India. And this is the key for US visa approval. Always mention your family support first when asked about finances. This shows stability. Many international students studying in the US are scared because of new rules from the US President Donald Trump. Trump's government started taking away visas from some students, which made a lot of students worried about losing their status and being sent back to their countries. Scammers are now using this fear to trick students. They contact students from countries like India, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Jordan and pretend to be government agents. These fake officials say that the students' visas is cancelled or they broke the particular rule. Then they demand money, threatening the students with jail or deportation if they don't pay. Well, the scammers ask students to pay for fake things like university fee or immigration help. Sometimes they pretend to be the real government groups like DHS, USCIS, or even ICE. In the meantime, they even send fake emails and websites that look kind of real. They speak very professionally to fool the students. Well, the FBI has warned students to be very careful. Let me tell you the guidelines. FBI asks students that they should not trust the calls or messages from people claiming to be government agents without checking first. Also, don't give out personal details or any sort of money transaction to anybody without any proof. Don't download any files or links from unknown sources. If you get a scary call, don't panic. Take some time and check if it is real or not. If you think you were tricked or scammed, report it immediately to the FBI. Also, tell your country's embassy and the US Department of State Security Office. Also, don't worry if you have sent money to scammers. Contact your bank quickly to stop the payments. Well, this warning is very important for Indian students in the US. Many Indian families send their children abroad to study with high hopes of bright future. But scams like this can cause big problems. Stay safe by knowing the fact and always double checking who you really are talking to. In today's global economy, money doesn't just move within borders. It crosses oceans to support families, build futures, and connect the communities. But the Indian diaspora in the United States sending money back home is not just a financial transaction. It's an emotional and cultural commitment. But now, a newly proposed US law could make this heartfelt act more expensive. A bill named the One Big Beautiful Bill has been introduced in the US House of Representatives. And buried deep within its 389 pages, on page 327 to be exact, is a provision that's causing concern across immigrant communities. It proposes a 5% tax on all international money transfers made by non-US citizens. This includes H-1B, L-1 visa holders, and even green card holders who haven't yet received full citizenship. If passed, then this bill could directly impact lakhs of Indians who are living in the US, a community of over 4.5 million people of Indian origin, with 3.2 million of them classified as persons of Indian origin. In the financial year 2023 alone, this particular community sent approximately $32 billion in remittances to India. That's nearly 28% of India's total remittances, making the US the largest source of money transfer for India. Now, if this new tax becomes the law, Indian origin residents in America could collectively lose an estimated $1.6 billion every single year just in remittances taxes. What makes this proposal even more troubling is that there is no exemption for small transactions. Whether you are sending a large amount for a property investment or just helping your parents with monthly expenses, every single transfer will be taxed. This policy doesn't differentiate between millionaire investors or a young professional supporting his or her family back home. And this flat 5% deduction at the point of transfer could discourage many from sending regular financial support to India. Well, for India, this is a big deal. India is the largest recipient of remittance globally, and these inflows help fuel the economy at the grassroots level. The money sent by NRIs often goes towards paying for education, medical bills, housing, and daily living costs for the loved ones. If this tax reduces the flow of money into India, it could hurt middle class and lower income families the most, those who depend on every single rupee that comes from abroad. Now, here experts are already advising Indians in the US to plan ahead. Many are being told to send larger remittances now before the law comes into effect, which could happen as early as June or July 2025. Others are hoping that through awareness and advocacy, the immigrant community can actually push back against this policy. Indian Americans have always been law-abiding, high-earning contributors of the US economy, and many feel that this particular tax is an unfair burden on those who are already paying income tax and contributing in so many ways. The bill is moving fast, and if it becomes the law, it could change how Indian American supports their families back home. It's not just about money, it's about keeping the emotional and cultural bond between India and its diaspora really strong. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.